I have absolutely no business trying to fit Michael Jackson's life into one video. People have made entire documentaries about this man, but we're going to try anyway. Because whether you love him, hate him, defend him, or you still don't know what to think about him, there's no denying that Michael Jackson has lived one of the most unbelievable lives in modern history. Child star, global superstar, record breaker, husband, father, the subject of countless rumors, scandals, lawsuits, debates. More than 15 years after his death, people are still arguing about who Michael Jackson really was. So let's see if I can do his story in 15 minutes or less. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on the 29th of August in 1958 in Gary, Indiana, just outside of Chicago. His family did not have money, far from it. His father, Joe Jackson, worked at a steel mill. His mother, Catherine, stayed home with the children. Together, they were raising 9 children in a small working-class house. Music was everywhere. Joe had once dreamed of becoming a professional musician himself. Then as his children got older, he noticed that several of them had real musical talent, so he formed a group with his sons. He pushed them hard. Rehearsals were long, demanding. Michael would later say that his father was very abusive, physically and emotionally. Joe Jackson admitted to using physical punishment, but he denied many of the things that Michael said happened. As difficult as those years were, they helped to shape one of the most successful family groups in music history. The group became known as the Jackson 5. Michael was the youngest member, but he quickly became the star of the group. When he joined his brothers in the Jackson 5, he was just about 5 or 6 years old. In 1969, when Michael was 11 years old, the Jackson 5 signed with Motown Records. Their first major single, I Want You Back, reached number 1 in the United States. Then came ABC, then The Love You Save, then I'll Be There. 4 number 1 hits. Almost overnight, Michael Jackson went from being a tiny little boy from Gary, Indiana, to one of the most famous children in America. But while millions of people saw the fame, the success, very few people saw the sacrifice. While other children were playing outside or coming back from school and just relaxing, Michael and his brothers were constantly rehearsing, recording, traveling, performing. Years later, Michael talked about the childhood that he felt that he never really had. The success of the Jackson 5 changed the lives of the entire Jackson family, okay? Over the years, Michael's brothers became very well known for music as well. His sister, Janet Jackson, would go on to become one of the biggest pop stars in the world. LaToya Jackson, his sister as well, also built a successful music career. But as Michael got older, it became clear that he wasn't just the lead singer of a successful group. He was becoming a star in his own right. In the early 1970s, while he was still performing with his brothers, Michael also started releasing music as a solo artist. His first number 1 solo hit, Ben, that showed that he could succeed on his own. Then in 1979, everything changed. Michael released Off the Wall, and he worked with legendary producer Quincy Jones. That album was a massive success, and it marked the beginning of a new chapter in Michael's career. The partnership between Michael and Quincy Jones, it went on to produce some of the biggest albums in music history. The little boy that people had watched grow up on television was now an adult, and he was now one of the most exciting performers in music. Then on the 29th of November 1982, Michael released an album called Thriller. It did not just become successful. It became the best-selling album of all time. The songs were everywhere. Billie Jean, Beat It, Thriller. And Michael, he wasn't just changing music, he was changing the way people experienced music. In 1983, during a television special celebrating Motown's 25th anniversary, he performed the moonwalk in front of a live audience for the very first time. That was one of the most iconic moments in music history. The following year, while filming a Pepsi commercial, pyrotechnics accidentally set Michael's hair on fire. He suffered very serious burns to his scalp and he had to go through very serious treatment. That same year, Thriller earned him 8 Grammy Awards in one single night. By his mid-20s, Michael Jackson wasn't just one of the biggest stars in the world. To many people, he was the biggest, the king of pop. In 1985, Michael made one of the smartest business decisions of his entire life. He bought the publishing rights to hundreds of songs, including many written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney. That meant every time these songs earned money, Michael earned money too. It would become one of the most valuable investments that he ever made. Then in 1987, he released another album, Bad. That was another huge success. But while his career continued to blow up, people were beginning to notice something else. Michael looked different. His skin appeared lighter. His nose was different. His face was changing. Newspapers wrote about it. Magazines wrote about it. People everywhere wanted to know the same thing. What was going on with Michael Jackson's looks? Then in 1988, he bought a huge property in California. He called it Neverland Ranch. It had amusement rides, a zoo, a cinema, even its own train. It was like anything that most people had ever seen at that time. At that time, it looked like a perfect place for one of the biggest stars in the world, I guess. But nobody would guess that Neverland Ranch would one day become one of the most controversial places in the world. For years, people came up with their own theories about Michael's looks, right? Some people believed that he was trying to change the color of his skin by bleaching it. Maybe he wanted to be white. Others believed he had gone through too many cosmetic surgeries and procedures, and maybe they were messing up with the way he looked. There were so many different rumors all around the world. In 1993, Michael decided to answer those questions by himself. He sat down for a televised interview with Oprah Winfrey. This was his first major televised interview in years, and millions of people were watching. During that interview, Michael revealed that he had vitiligo, a condition that causes the skin to lose its color in patches, He explained that he used makeup to make his skin look more even. Years later, after his death, an autopsy actually confirmed that he did have vitiligo. Then Michael also admitted to having cosmetic surgery, although he denied many of the rumors about how much work he had done. He said he did have work done, but not as much as people were saying. But the questions about his appearance were not the only questions that people had about his life. So Michael often said that he never really had a childhood, because he spent most of his childhood rehearsing, performing, As an adult, he surrounded himself with things that many people associated with childhood. Neverland Ranch became a place where children, particularly sick and disadvantaged children, were often invited to visit and hang out with Michael Jackson. It was during this period that Michael became friends with a 13-year-old boy called Jordan Chandler and his family. And in 1993, Jordan accused Michael of sexually abusing him. That allegation became one of the biggest stories in the world. Michael denied it. He insisted he had never abused any child. Jordan said Michael had definitely done it. Jordan's family also sued Michael, asking to be paid compensation. Then in 1994, that case was settled privately for an amount that was said to be in the millions of dollars, Michael said that settlement was not him admitting guilt. He said he had settled because he wanted to end that long legal battle that was damaging his career. But even though the money case was over, the police were still trying to determine whether a crime had been committed. In the end, no criminal charges were filed in connection with Jordan Chandler's case. For many people, the settlement raised even more questions. Why pay when you said that you did not do it? For others, the fact that Michael Jackson was never charged after the investigation in that case supported his claim that he was innocent. And this is where the debate around Michael Jackson truly started. A debate that would follow him for the rest of his life. Later that same year, Michael surprised many people by marrying Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley. The marriage attracted huge attention, around the world. Some people believed, this is genuine, they're in love. Others questioned whether it was an attempt to repair Michael's public image after the abuse allegations, Michael and Lisa both insisted that their marriage was real. Less than 2 years later, they divorced. In 1996, Michael married Debbie Rowe. Together, they had 2 children. Their son, Prince, was born in 1997. Their daughter, Paris, was born the following year. Michael and Debbie divorced in 2000. 2 years later, that was in 2002, Michael welcomed a third child, Prince Michael II, who is now better known as Biggie or Blanket. Michael never revealed the identity of Biggie's mother. He said it was through IVF. By the early 2000s, Michael Jackson was rarely out of the headlines. In 2002, he traveled to Berlin with his children. Hundreds of fans gathered outside his hotel, of course, hoping to catch a glimpse of him. Michael stepped out onto an upper floor balcony holding his baby son Biggie. Then for a few seconds, he leaned over the railing and briefly held the baby with one arm over, waving to the crowd. It looked as if he was dangling this baby over the balcony. That moment was caught on camera. People around the world reacted with shock. Many people believed that was so dangerous. The child could have fallen. Michael later apologized. He said it was a terrible mistake. The following year, Michael Jackson agreed to take part in a British television documentary called Living with Michael Jackson. The program gave viewers a rare look into Neverland Ranch and Michael's private life. Cameras followed him around the ranch, showing how he lived, how he interacted with the children who came over. During one conversation, Michael said that he shared his bedroom with children. He insisted that it was innocent and said, sharing your bedroom was one of the most loving things you could do. Millions of people watched the documentary. People were shocked by what they heard. Children in his bed? Not long after that, a 13-year-old boy called Gavin Avizo accused Michael Jackson of sexually abusing him. Once again, Michael denied the allegation. Once again, the police opened an investigation. The investigation lasted months. In November of 2003, police searched Neverland Ranch. Michael Jackson was arrested and later charged with multiple offenses, including child molestation. He pleaded not guilty to every charge. The trial started in 2005 and it lasted for almost 4 months. More than 100 witnesses were called to give evidence. The prosecution argued that Michael had sexually abused Gavin. The defense argued that those allegations were false and that the family was just trying to get money from Michael. After months and months of testimony, the jury reached its decision. On the 13th of June 2005, Michael Jackson was found not guilty on all counts. For some people, the verdict proved that Michael Jackson had been falsely accused once again. Others believed some doubts remained, Even after the trial was over, the debate about Michael Jackson continued. It never really went away up till today. Although Michael had been acquitted, his career never really fully recovered. He continued making music, but he appeared in public less and less. Reports also suggested that he was facing very serious financial problems. Then in 2009, Michael Jackson announced a series of comeback concerts in London. The tour was called This Is It. Fans went mad with excitement, but the concerts never happened. As Michael Jackson prepared for the shows, he was struggling with severe insomnia. This man couldn't sleep. His personal doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray, had been giving him propofol. Propofol is a powerful anesthetic normally used to keep patients asleep during surgery. It's not a drug that is meant to be used as a regular sleeping aid. On the 25th of June 2009, Michael Jackson was found unresponsive at his home in Los Angeles. He was later pronounced dead. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled that he had died from acute propofol intoxication along with effects of other sedatives. The prosecutor said that Dr. Murray had given Michael the drug in an unsafe setting. He failed to properly monitor him and he had delayed in calling emergency services after Michael stopped breathing. So in 2011, the doctor was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but he was released after serving less than 2 years. Michael Jackson was just 50 years old. His death shocked the world. Millions of fans mourned him. His music again started topping the charts around the world. Michael Jackson died in 2009, but his story did not end there. Even after his death, the legal battles continued. New allegations have been made. His estate has denied them. And even today, court cases that are connected to those allegations are still making their way through the legal system. Some people will always remember Michael Jackson as one of the greatest entertainers who ever lived. Others will always remember the allegations that surrounded him. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy stories like this, please don't forget to follow me. I tell these stories all the time on all my social media. Thank you.